Hey, welcome to Your Personal Health. My name is Jeff Harrison, and we should see Dr. Kim and Dr. Burris rolling here any second. They are just finishing up with their show over on the other station, which is COVID Update 19. There were some interesting things that came out of that discussion today that you want to go back and check it out, because now it is Delta 1, which is a new updated version. I'll let them explain that, but it does have some, I guess, changes that we might want to consider that Dr. Burris and Dr. Kim talked about that I think are going to be very important. Today, we're going to really kind of start a new series or a new conversation around a series of your health when it comes to, should I diet first or should I exercise first? What role does nutrition play in making sure that we're healthy? And I'm just going to check, because they should be here by now, just to double check and make sure. No, they should. Just seeing if they maybe had missed the bus to come on over. Again, this is your personal health, and we're really focused on what can you do on a daily basis to start having optimum health. And most of us go to a doctor when we're not feeling well, when something isn't right. And the idea behind this show with Dr. Burris and Dr. Kim is to say, hey, what can we do with preventative medicine? What can we do to keep you at your optimum health and feeling well, better, so that you can live every day? Because there's a saying that says a rich man, or let's say a healthy person looks forward to tomorrow. A sick person only wishes he were better today. And in other words, your health is so valuable that it's important to really get a handle on it. And a lot of times we do things that, like a car, we kind of defer maintenance. Sometimes we do the same things with our health. Oh, I'll take care of that tooth that hurts right now. I'll take care of that later. Maybe it'll go away. And the next thing you know, you got an abscess, then you got a root canal or whatever. Thank goodness I don't have issues with my teeth. I'm just checking to see where they are. They're saying they don't have a link. Let me just send them a real quick invite, and we will get them over here. This will just take a second. They should be popping in here any second then. So I know it's not like them not to be on time. I know they were finishing up COVID-19 update, and that information was very important. So here we go. I bet they'll be popping in here any second, and we can get into this, because again, many times it depends on who you talk to, a nutritionist or somebody that's in exercise, they say theirs should be first. So I'm just curious what Dr. Burris and Dr. Kim will come up with, which is probably going to make the greatest impact on our health long term and short term. Is it going to be what we put in our body or how we exercise our body? So I personally am interested in seeing what they come up with. We didn't talk about this before, so it's going to be very interesting. It'll be interesting if Dr. Kim and Dr. Burris agree on the fact, or if they side up on the same, or they decide one way or the other, it's a different answer. So, now they're calling. Hi, Dr. Michael.
Hey, no, we don't have a link. I'm sorry.
I just sent it again, and I sent it to Dr. Burris's email.
Oh, okay. We're not looking at that. Let me go look at that.
Here. It'll just take a second. Let me just send it to the other email. I sent it to both earlier, but let me just double check and. All right, it's on its way. Should be there.
Okay.
I'm just entertaining the troops, so hurry, because I can't dance any longer.
Okay, we'll be.
All right, so we know what's happened. That crazy internet and the email. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. So again, thanks for joining us. My name is Jeff Harrison. We host the show for Dr. Michael and Dr. Kim. They are the doctors that run Coachella Valley Direct Primary Care, which is a different model of healthcare. It's more of if you feel like it's a membership model. unlike if you are a member of a large organization and you have to go to certain doctors and, there's certain things you have to do, they have their own private practice and they are here now. But before I let them in, I'll say, and so what you're able to do is you are a member of their program. And so now if I have a question, I pick up the phone and call them, and by golly, they answer. Or if I need a question, I can send them a text or an email. And it may be one of those things that said, hey, let's do a Zoom call, which is not really a Zoom call because it's protected and it's secure through their system, but it's a video call. I have to get in the car and drive across town or whatever it is, and I can get my answers. So anyway, that is their program, and I'm excited they're here. Today, it may be WW2 right here. That's World Wrestling 2 right here, because we're going to decide, hey, what is more important when you're saying, I want to get my health back on track? Is it me going to the gym 3-4 days a week, or is it nutrition? So here they are. Hey guys, welcome.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, sorry about that little mix up. Sometimes that happens. An email gets lost in the mail. So we're talking about diet or exercise, which one comes first, and the implications or the impact on our body and our long-term health. So I'm curious, let's let ladies go first. Dr. Burris, what would you say is in order of importance that has the most impact on our body? Would it be diet or exercise?
I'm going to actually answer this. It depends on which one is worse. So if you, it's like trying to say which is worth more, gold or silver. Well, it depends on how much you have of each. So,
crypto. Oh, sorry.
Bitcoin. Okay. So honestly, I'm a fan of diet first, primarily because that makes a bigger impact on somebody's like overall intake. But I'm also, sometimes starting to move will help motivate you to eat better. So it's very difficult for me to split these apart. But I'm in general a food girl.
Yeah, it sounds like it's almost like the chicken and the egg. But Dr. Kim, can you break this down? What do you think? Is it? Whoa! Did you just get that look?
Oh, it's what she said.
Is it diet or exercise? Okay, let's move on to next week's topic. Now, what do you think? Is it diet or exercise? Which one would come first?
So I would agree with Dr. Burris. I think it's too complicated to really say what's better or worse. It's kind of like, there's so many things. If the wheels are coming off the bus, I guess you start somewhere, wherever you can start. But if I had to say, in my own experience, I think diet is the easier of the two to do, because it's something that you have to do every day. You have to eat, right? You don't have to exercise. You can go, weeks without exercising. You can't go weeks without eating. So if you can just change a little bit of how you eat, then you could really make an impact on how you're doing. Now, exercising or doing it the other way around, if you start exercising and adding diet, the two together is like, throwing gasoline on a fire. It will accelerate you feeling better and healthier. So they go together well, and it's hard to do one well without the other, but you can.
Yeah. I would say that in general, if somebody's eating a fairly good diet, meaning that they're sort of eating less processed foods, more fruits and vegetables, trying to get more lean proteins in, but they're not exercising, they're really not maximizing their health much, because you get the benefit of the diet, but what exercise adds is so pervasive. And it doesn't have to be intense, an hour cardio or anything. It's just 15 to 30 minutes a day of getting your heart rate up and moving. That's achievable for most people, but that improves sleep, lowers your cholesterol, lowers your blood pressure, lowers your stress hormone levels, helps you maintain a healthy weight, and it helps with your balance, maintain muscle tone. And for our older population, balance and muscle mass are key to our older people actually remaining active into their 80s and 90s. So these are not small things. Like a person who's older, who's eating well but not exercising, will have a lower quality of life.
Yeah, and then the sitting is, I think we're learning more and more that sitting for prolonged periods of time, not good for people. And they're starting to do studies. And the way they found this out is when the astronauts go out in space, there's no gravity. And when they come back, their body has adapted to no gravity. And they have to recondition their body to get healthier. Well, sitting to standing, even that alone, is a different gravitational pull on your body. So if you're sitting all the time versus even just standing, it can cause more problems. And there are some studies that show if you sit and stand during the workday versus just sitting and then working out, the sitting and standing is better for you because you're getting more of a consistent change on your body versus trying to go to the gym after work and thinking that.
Right. It's good to exercise in these like intensive ways, or this like time that you put together, but people shouldn't neglect the little things that you can do to increase movement in your day, because that really adds up. As far as the health benefits, you definitely get a benefit from putting all your cardio together, for instance, for your heart. But for all the other benefits of exercise, those 40 minutes don't have to be right next to each other. You can do 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here. And all the things they used to tell us about, hey, park at the back of the parking lot and walk in, or, turns out that's actually correct. Get a standing desk, set a timer, and get up and walk around every 15 minutes. And those little things make a big difference if you have a sedentary job.
One of the things. Well, I'm very happy to say that I do have a standing desk. I'm at my standing desk now, and sometimes I'll stand here for 7 to 10 hours a day, and I'm fine. It doesn't hurt my back or anything. But I'll set for 15 or 20 minutes because I'm doing something else at my desk where I'm sitting, and boy, it doesn't take long before I realize my posture is not so good. My back is sore. And I just prefer, and it's been like this for, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years that I've used a standing desk. I really enjoy it. So,
yeah. And IKEA has them too, relatively inexpensive.
Yeah. What's the connection I've noticed myself? It seems the more I exercise, or let's say not more, but consistently exercise, I find myself craving the bad foods less and making better food choices. Is there a connection, or is it just me? And as my wife said, I'm an oddball. What is it?
Yes, there is a connection, and but there's also something that people should be aware of. If you increase your exercise amount, especially if you lose weight, your body will actually signal you to eat more calories. So there are times where people are increasing their exercise and they find that they're craving food that maybe is less healthy for them, higher fat foods, etc. So sometimes people have the other experience, and that's something that is an individual thing you can get advice on. But there's also, as you're making ongoing healthy choices, your body starts to feel better on them, and you actually are reinforcing those healthier choices. And as you feel better, you kind of want to keep feeling that way. And so your brain will tell you, hey, boy, that big bowl of berries and, non-fat yogurt looks great, versus the bag of Doritos.
I'd love to give you guys a statement, and you guys can just gnaw on this a little bit. Tell me what your thoughts are. I've heard this statement mainly from my wife, and she says, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. What do you think about that?
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I can easily sit down and eat 2,000 calories, but even if I ran for 4 hours, I probably wouldn't burn that much. So
Mm.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, we can't throw enough cholesterol medicine at you, diabetes medicine. If you're gonna eat poorly or make poor choices with foods that just are high in sugar and all this stuff, you can outdo exercise. You can outdo all these things, and it's only because food it is powerful. It's what our body uses directly, and so we can put good things in our body or food that have better nutritional value than others. So for sure.
But it is true, the more you eat foods that are more nutritious, that they actually start tasting better and you actually start to want them more. So if you're at the beginning of that process and you're kind of struggling with the fact that you don't like a lot of stuff, really encourage people to just keep going, keep trying different things, because you may be surprised that it grows on you or you find something you really like.
You mean like broccoli grow on you?
Yes, broccoli's delicious.
Physically grow on you?
I love broccoli. Well, we've just come through this, and it doesn't sound like we're quite out of it yet. If you missed the COVID-19 update, you need to go back and check that out because there were some really, really important pieces that you should watch that. So make sure you go back and see that. But, we went through a period where I think it exposed the things in the closet. Like, we have a lot of people that are not healthy. They're overweight. They're, heart conditions because of the weight. They've got joint conditions. And this pandemic attacked them first because I would guess, please help me if I'm right or wrong, is because their immune system isn't as strong and their body is not as strong as those people who do diet and do exercise some. Is that fair to say?
Actually, COVID was unique because the ACE receptor that it binds to is found in fat cells. So it actually would bind and have higher viral levels in people who are overweight. So it was sort of a double whammy because in general, you have maybe an immune system that isn't as good, especially if you have some additional medical problem like diabetes. But it was specifically the weight itself that increased people's risk, even if they didn't have other underlying conditions and even if they were younger. And it was because of that unique characteristic of the COVID virus, which was that binding site on fat cells.
Yeah, I think, there are a lot of factors involved with the pandemic, just shutting everything down. The healthier you were, the more you could tolerate not having to go to the gym. But if you are unhealthy, even the 1 or 2 or 3 days or a week away from the gym is going to cause more problems than if you had built up a good habits.
Yeah, and I think for people who are more who had the daily habit of exercise, they were maybe able to find ways to alter that during the pandemic, and that helps to relieve stress and has a host of other benefits that may have helped them weather the pandemic a little better.
And I'm wondering if this new category of businesses of food prep, when everything had to stop, if that affected people because they no longer had someone prepping their healthy foods. They now had to figure out, how do I prep my own healthy food, or how do I make healthy food? So,
well, I think a lot of people over the pandemic really explored a lot of new cooking ideas, new recipes, tried new things. And I think that's actually great because we can carry forward some of the things that we've learned over this past year and a half into our future life. Like I love cooking, but I have a hard time finding new recipe that I want to try and getting to the store and making it happen. But even if I can add 1 or 2 kind of new recipes to the repertoire, that livens up the whole family options.
Well,
good thing.
I think it's so true. I'm curious now, and this is the last question. The United States ranks almost last as far, and not a good thing, or maybe it should rank the highest in our obesity. If you could send a message out to those people who, are struggling with their weight, what would you tell them to get started today? Again, in baby steps, not this overwhelming thing, but just the baby steps. Because I like what you said. Hey, park out there and walk from the parking lot, take the stairs, even if it's one flight, whatever. But what would you tell them that they could get started on today and start reversing that? Because we know the longer the weight is on, the greater the health risk. Is that not right? And then the shorter the longevity of their life.
I think I would tell people to not give up hope, because it can seem like an impossible thing to move towards a healthier lifestyle, and to celebrate small victories. If you've made an improvement in an area, to really give yourself like a little pat on the back. If you've started moving more, you switched to a stand-up desk, if you've maybe switched out a fast food option for something healthier, just to keep going. Don't get discouraged, and maybe find somebody to help you, to help support you on the journey, because it's a long one, and but quite doable.
Yeah, I would say, definitely don't give up hope. There's not one size fits all. I'm not a gym rat. I don't like going to the gym working out. I like, going and playing basketball with friends. So that's what I'll do, or swimming with the kids, or, going and playing in a recreation soccer league. Things like that are what I like to do. And so, find the things that you like to do that you enjoy, because then it'll be more sustainable. And that goes with certain foods or diets. There's not one diet that corners the market. Just find things that you think are doable and try. And if you can't, there's other things out there.
I love it. Guys, thank you so much for today. I just have to also report, last week you said something, it was about heat. And like the next day, I believe, I was speaking to somebody, and I saw that they were telling me that their friend had passed away, who came down and to celebrate their birthday with them, overdid it, and went upstairs, and I guess they lost their life. So it was heat stroke. And unfortunately, they didn't see the show, but that's how important this is, guys, especially today. I think it's like 11% humidity. In other words, the air is really dry out there, and it doesn't take long before the moisture is out of our system. On the flip side of that, you talked about hydrating before, half an hour to an hour before going out to, I think it was a half an hour before going out for physical exercise. And I added that regime this past week. And I think I was probably enticed because you said it would help performance. And I have to say that this was the strongest week of pickleball I've had since I've been playing. So I didn't tire out, and I felt still fresh at the end. And because I started adding that extra, hydration before I went out for physical exercise. And I thought about that today, especially when I'm driving home about 8 o'clock this morning, because we started at 5:45, and there was a young gal running, and she clearly had no water with her. And I'm thinking, boy, that's a mistake. She had even if she didn't hydrate before, she had no water with her. And I just thought, gosh, it's just not worth the risk. So I just wanted to say thank you for that message last week. It was very, very impactful.
Did you take home the trophy?
Well, there's no trophy in pickleball when I played, but it was just like, wow, that was, we had today, especially, we had some really, really good games. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And again, I say it's because I hydrated. That was it. So I have to thank my team. I have to thank my friends, my doctors. That's it. So it's take this information for what it is. It's incredibly valuable. They're giving this information to you. And along the bottom of the screen, you see their information. They do things uniquely. They have what is called Coachella Valley Direct Primary Care. And it's different than what you've been used to, of calling and waiting and maybe not having a doctor, a primary care doctor. They have a very unique system where you're a member, and I'll let them tell you this, but it is a situation you can pick up the phone, you can send a text, and they're there. They actually answer the phone. And if you need something, you don't necessarily have to go in, because it could be a telemedicine or a virtual call, a protected virtual call, and save you time and energy. And it's all for a low monthly fee that will just blow your mind. It's just, when we talk about our personal health, this does a trick. So if you guys do me a favor and just take a second, just tell us about the membership, what it runs, and really, what are the deductibles when we come in, and, what kind of wait times, those kind of things.
You want to do it?
Oh, I'll do it. Yeah. So the membership is a monthly fee, which is $99 for somebody 45 and under, and then $145 a month for someone over that. There are no copays, and there are no limits on the number of times you can call or be seen. We see people when it makes sense for them. If they need to come in same day, we usually can arrange that. Occasionally, we even bring people in the evening or the weekend, especially if they have a schedule conflict, for instance, jobs or family responsibilities. So we really do keep our schedule light enough that we can respond to people in a timely manner. And the way we do that is by limiting our size of our practice. So most doctors are managing 3,000 to 5,000 patients, and we only have a few hundred. So that's how we get around that. And the way we do that is by having that direct relationship with the patient. We don't bill insurance. We just take care of our people.
I love it. Well, the information is on the screen, you guys. Coachella Valley Direct Primary Care Physicians. Again, changing the way we take care of our health. And that's at 760-642-5549. Give them a call or go to their website, Coachella Valley Direct Primary Care, or dpc.com. And make sure to join us every week at 3 o'clock. It's COVID-19 update. Gang, it's not over. It's not over. It's no time to let your guard down. Yes, the restrictions are lighter, but we still have some things out there we need to be aware of. So make sure to join us at 3 o'clock. And then around 3:15, when I get the link to them on time, they show up over here and we talk about your personal health. And today was quite a conversation. Should I diet first or exercise? Well, it depends. Go back and look at the episode, and we'll see you next week. My name is Jeff Harrison. Doctors, thank you so much. You guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. It sounds like, are you going to Disneyland this weekend?
No, it's a couple weeks from now.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, until then, be safe. We'll see you next week then.
Thank you.
Thanks.